Is it recording? Yeah, it's recording,
Why do people hate the chosen one? And I have a surprising answer for you. Actually, when people talk about hating the chosen one, they do not generally hate the special person who comes to save the people. That has been happening in stories far before, Lord of the Rings. What people actually hate is the modern depiction of the chosen one. The chosen one that is special in how they are treated, that is special in origin. They will face a tiny bit of conflict in the beginning of the story, and then after that, it's basically a smooth ride. I want to share with you one of my favorite fantasy authors, because this is mainly a fantasy problem, and as I do in this channel a lot, I like to share with you authors who are within the genre of fantasy who solve the problem that we are talking about. One of my favorite authors who actually solves this problem phenomenally is known as Joe Abercrombie, and this series is the first video in author analysis. Alright, well, I've actually done this before. This is not the first video. In fact, I've done like 3 videos in this series before, but all of them looked like this.
Oh my god, what is that? Oh my god, what is that?
Now everything looks like this. So this is the official start of my YouTube channel. It's really not, but it is the official start, because right now we could literally take off on the back of a dragon. Take Frodo. Frodo initially was chosen by a higher power in much the same way most chosen ones are, okay? However, as the story progresses, you see that even though Frodo was chosen to save the people, therefore making him the chosen one, he is not hated in much the same way someone like, for instance, Richard Cypher from Wizard's First Rule is, right? The issue here is that Frodo, when he goes on his journey, he's not the special one, right? He might be the flat character that gets tested. In other words, for instance, Frodo is not corrupted by the ring. The ring tempts him, but he is supposed to fight off the temptation, right? Others who are with him cannot and do not. In fact, they fail to fight off the temptation.
No! It is not yours, saved by unhappy chance. It could have been mine. It should be mine. Give it to me. Give it to me.
Now, if you pay attention, take someone like Richard, for instance, from Wizard's First Rule, written by Terry Goodkind. May he rest in peace. By the way, fun fact, I want to show you something. But number 2, characters should not be written from the perspective of being the special one. You know that guy? That was me dressed in mud. This is actually what I call the 4th wave. It was the 4th wave of content. Basically, this channel has been through 6 waves. First wave, 2nd wave, that was the 4th wave, the 4th format of content. This is the 6th time I have tried something different in the span of 2 years. Hopefully it works out. Hopefully people stick with this one. Hopefully people engage with this one. Hopefully you engage with this one. But basically that was a 2-hour video, almost 2 hours, discussing in detail, point by point by point by point, why Wizard's First Rule is an extremely awful story. And basically that dude you saw, that is the Screamer. He was one of the 4 characters I made for the 4th wave of content in this channel. I removed all of them so you cannot find them. Yeah, that was kind of crazy. I just dressed in mud and started screaming into the camera. However, in the 4th wave, I discussed Wizard's First Rule and why it's terrible beat by beat. And Richard, he was the chosen one, chosen to wield the sword of truth. One of the other characters in the story, for instance, is known as Kalan, alright? She is a very important character. However, I want to show you this, right? I want to tell you this. Imagine there are 2 people. One of them has traveled across the planet. They have traveled across half of the world in order to find the great wizard who will choose the next, sort of savior, right? The next person that will wield the sword of truth, right? And then there is this little boy in a village who happens to be outside the village, who gets to stumble upon the person that has traveled half the world in order to save the world. And then the wizard knows both of these 2 people. Which one would you choose? Let's say you are the great wizard, okay? Which one will you give the sword of truth? Just ask yourself the question, which one would you give the sword of truth? The power that can save the world. I would argue, if I were to imagine myself in this scenario, I would not give it to Richard, I would give it to Kalan. But Richard gets to be the chosen one because he's the special one, right? He's the protagonist. He gets to be coddled. He gets to be special. He gets all of these necklaces, all of these powers, all of these, MacGuffins that save him throughout the story. And therefore, this modern depiction of the chosen one, which is seen in Richard, is what people hate. People do not hate the chosen one in the sense of Frodo, right? Which is a character who's chosen to save the world by higher power. However, they are not necessarily going to be special in how they go through the journey. They still have to work hard. They still have to be clever. They still have to make the moves. They still have to take the correct, turns. And if they take the wrong turn, they find themselves in a trouble. And here is something that you have to understand. They find themselves in a trouble, and no MacGuffins, at least not a lot of MacGuffins, will get them out of it. In that sense, these two characters, Frodo and Richard, are basically the two characters that exemplify the two types, the main broad two types of chosen ones, right? And these two characters, one of them is terrible and the other one is good. So what people hate is Richard. People don't hate Frodo. As long as the chosen one is a character that does not get to have all the special things in the world and get to beat people that are, countless eons ahead of them in terms of practice, basically we like the story, we are on for the journey, right? We are aboard for the journey. Now, to fix this problem, there are, twice. To fix this problem, you can do several things. One of those things is actually to just completely abandon the chosen one. One of the authors who does this a lot, who does not have special protagonists in any sense of the word, is Joe Abercrombie. And this is his greatest advantage. What makes Joe Abercrombie special within the fantasy genre is the fact that he has protagonists who suffer and who have to work every inch of the way in order to achieve the task and the goals. In order, for instance, like Logan Nine Fingers, for him to crawl out of trouble, he has to literally crawl every inch of the way. There's not going to be some magical BS that saves him, okay? And if there is not countless of those in the story, as is with Wizard's First Rule. And that is where I will end this video. Please go read Joe Abercrombie. He's one of my favorite fantasy authors. In fact, I'll just give you a recommendation. The Blade itself, okay? The first book in the First Law series. A lot of firsts. Wizard's First Rule. Thank you for watching, and God bless you. Or may the devil bless you if you worship devils. I'm not sure. Bye-bye.